Okay, welcome back.
So, on the off chance that we basically had some technical issues,
internet went out on us.
Lost power, internet went out. So, this may end up being a two-parter, maybe. Unfortunately, I will have to do some tweaking after the fact of the live stream.
Yep.
But
fun fact, though, I found Howard the Duck T-shirts.
If we even ended on that note before we were cut off.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
Before we were cut off, we were trying to look up Howard the Duck T-shirts. It doesn't matter.
I found Howard the Duck T-shirts.
So.
And it's awesome. You can find old school ones. You can find some newer school styles on TeePublic and Etsy. Non-sponsored, by the way. We're Googling this right now.
Yeah. It was more of less of a curious question.
Okay. What were we talking about? We talked about the humorous post-credit scene. Did we finish talking about that?
We talked about
the post-credit scene with Yondu's.
Yeah. We weren't finished with that. Basically, what it was is Yondu died. His second-hand man looks like
he's Mary Poppins,
He looks to be taking over the role, kind of. He looks to be taking over Yondu's role, and I'm curious if he will be in Guardians.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He'll be that comic relief portion. You know he will.
For Volume 3, so that's kind of an interesting thing to look forward to. Moving forward.
There we go.
Yeah.
It got going.
And so then I think that's about everything for the film, other than one other
post-credit scene, which we knew we were getting. We're so happy we called this.
We called this. Adam Warlock was definitely going to be in a post-credit scene. It's a given.
And the pod is so nice. The birthing pod is so cool looking.
So clearly,
it's nice and golden.
It's obvious that Adam Warlock will be in Volume 3.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
I didn't see your face directly, but I saw it in the in the camera.
Oh, man.
But
yeah, we got 24 minutes of that.
You rolled your eyes with an orgasm over Adam Warlock.
It's so dude, it's so awesome. Oh yeah, and you can also show off the thing over there that you want to show off.
Before moving on from Guardians of the Galaxy,
we'll end it with the souvenirs.
I talked about this a couple weeks ago, that you could pre-order tickets in theater and you'd be able to get stuff like this. You could get the collector glass as well as collector pins and stuff like that. And on the back, it actually kind of gives you a little brief aspect of Rocket and Groot. I doubt any of you will be able to read this on video.
Let's go ahead and let the man get his little bit of shine for his marketability. Yeah.
Well, here. Wait. Yep. I was going the right way. Yep. Hard to get these angles.
He's in utter shock that he's on a glass right now. Look at that face.
Well, there's here we go.
Yeah, wait. Look at that face.
Right there.
Look at that face, though. He is amazed.
So
he is amazed he's on a glass.
So now, since none of you will be able to read what the glass says.
Indeed, read it for him.
Go ahead and let's do this. So, Rocket and Groot were a bounty hunting team that crossed paths with and eventually befriended Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax.
Indeed, they did.
Together, they formed the Guardians of the Galaxy in an effort to save the planet Xandar from Ronan, the Accuser. Groot made a heroic sacrifice to protect the lives of the beloved companions.
Make a giant ball.
Rocket planted a piece of Groot's remains as a remembrance of the fallen Guardian.
Yep.
Once a towering giant, Groot is now in the process of regrowing his body from a single twig. With no knowledge of his previous adventures, Groot relies on Rocket to guide and instruct him in his new life. Despite his
come on, it's English.
Diminutive?
Speak it out.
What the fuck? I don't know. Basically, his small size. We're going to go with that. Groot stands by his friends and proves a formidable, although occasionally mischievous. Oh my god.
You're having a time over
ally. Okay, so actually the story on that is actually it's pretty much the movie story. It's not necessarily their backstory.
I think Groot's amazed with your reading. Like,
there is like one word that seems to be messed up on here, but clearly I obviously knew that I said Guardian, so
sure you did.
Anywho, that I think is the last touch on Guardians of the
One more
Galaxy.
thing, remember, 8.5 out of 10 Baby Groots from the Casual Comic Cast, and go check it out if you're a fan of the first one.
And also, we talked about the game, so if you wanted to see more of that to come, check out the link below because it will be on my other channel. And if you're interested, we will be doing, well, we'll get into the other things that we'll be doing on the channel later. Mm-hmm. But one thing that we failed to start this video with is we failed to acknowledge we both have Twitters up and running now
for our
channels. So there you go.
Well, I've had mine.
Yeah, but I got one last week. Mm-hmm. My first post had to do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
It did.
Which we watched on Star Wars Day.
Conveniently. Hey, wait. Look at this. I'm gonna put it on my shirt.
You can line it up.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at my new shirt. It's got my Twitter handle and everything.
I'm not representing Spider-Man right now. I have Star-Lord. Yeah. But
you can just put the spider over Star-Lord's face.
Yeah, anyway, so there's our Twitter accounts if anybody's interested to see any of our stuff. And then back to what I was saying though, we saw it on Star Wars Day. So I was dressed up like Darth Vader. Yeah, may the 4th be with you. In which we have our Star Wars special. But enough of that.
Yeah, let's get into some Marvel and DC news.
Let's get into the
little bit of news we got to cover this week. Some interesting news.
Well, actually,
especially on the Marvel side of things.
Yeah. Seems Marvel has a lot more news than DC.
Hey, there's one big interesting thing on DC's side.
But,
actually, I'd say two, because one's just a giant question
most recent thing, before we get into Marvel and DC, the most recent thing is Hellboy getting a reboot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
Independence instead.
It's going to be rated R. And so basically, it's rated R, just like the Spawn reboot that I was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Which I'm still questioning if these rated R reboots are just because of Logan and Deadpool doing so well. Well, I hope it's not. I hope it's not. These movies make sense to get an R rating.
Well, yeah, technically, Hellboy, I could see.
Yeah, they should be getting an R rating with their
Spawn
stories.
Too, yeah.
But I'm hoping this isn't just because, Logan and Deadpool did so good in their R ratings.
Yeah, because then you have Venom getting a rated R movie too, but all of those seem to fit.
Yeah, they seem to fit what should be getting a rated.
As long as you don't give a rated R to like a comedic character.
Guardians of the Galaxy
doesn't need it. But the actor that is supposedly being considered, if not already confirmed, is the actor that plays in Stranger Things, David Harbour.
Now, is this for the role of Hellboy?
Yes, for the role of Hellboy. Which this actor was actually apparently being looked at to play the role of Cable prior to, we already know, Thanos basically being Cable. So
I'm sad now. I love Ron Perlman.
Well,
Ron Perlman was great.
Well, they can't use the same actor if it's a reboot.
I don't care. It's Ron Perlman. He's awesome. Use him. I hope he at least makes a cameo then. I'm not the biggest Hellboy fan, but Ron Perlman is awesome. So I'm okay. I do like the dude from Stranger Things.
I actually have not seen Stranger Things, so not much to say there.
This is an appropriate face.
Groot has nothing to do with
Stranger Things. Okay, you should watch it. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay, anyway.
But if he's playing that role, I'm sure I'll be happy with it. He's great in Stranger Things. That'll be fun to see. So now we can jump into DC and Marvel news and see exactly what's going on the red and blue side of things. So you want to start it off, or should I?
Well, I want to say, I think that, it's not really relevant. We can pass on it, yeah. So, we're good. It's not necessary. So, okay, the big thing, since we're on the fact of Guardians of the Galaxy, we called a lot that was happening in that. Now, prior to the Defenders trailer dropping, we did predict that Elektra was going to be in it.
Yep.
And in case you don't take me on my word, we do have the video posted before the trailer was posted. Check it out. So,
well, I think everybody kind of knew though that Elektra was coming back.
It was kind of already a given because
wasn't really that big of a secret.
It was kind of left on the fact that she was going to lead the Hand.
Yeah,
and the fact that Hand is going to be their villain, but nonetheless, I'm proud that I got that right. So
you and 99% of the world.
Yes, unless you're no, we don't want to be mean. Okay.
We're mean enough to production companies on this podcast. We don't need to be mean to anybody else.
Yeah.
It's all in good fun though, at least. Except you, Sony, right? No.
Okay. No.
I've said I like Sony before, but yeah, Elektra coming back, and of course all the other big things in the trailer. We saw a lot of the meeting points between the two.
Yes, it starts off with
between the four, I should say.
It starts off with Jessica Jones and
being interrogated.
Daredevil, aka Matthew Murdock, coming in.
The blind man walking in.
And so there's and you have the other character from, what is her name? She's from Luke Cage.
Yeah, she's from Luke Cage. She's the detective.
Yeah.
Oh, what was her name?
Basically, that's the kind of tie-in between those three shows right there. That starts it off because she's being interrogated over something that happened. And so that's how Daredevil and Jessica Jones kind of come to meet together. So they meet on more of a, how would you consider that? I'm curious. Whereas like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they would meet on the streets.
They meet on a much more mutual level.
Yeah. Like they meet with their like
Danny and Luke. They kind of meet because, well,
the street level thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Daredevil, Matthew Murdock, I should say, and Jessica Jones, they meet on a more of like they were actually doing their job kind of thing, if you will, quote unquote job.
Misty Knight.
Yeah, so Misty Knight was in there interrogating, which I did find out something interesting.
Movie database.
I found out something interesting.
What?
I've been talking to, I've been doing a new job at work, so I've been talking to people at work.
Okay,
found some people that are interested in the same thing we're interested in. So I found something else interesting that I did not know. A lot of big comic fans probably already knew, but
probably.
Her name.
Yes, Misty Knight.
Misty Knight. She actually, in the comics, teams up with Hellcat, I think is the name, which Hellcat is Jessica Jones' friend from the Jessica Jones series. She actually uses the claws. She uses the claws that Claire uses, so I'm not sure why Claire was using them, but she actually uses claws kind of like that in the comics. And they actually team up together, as well as I believe with maybe one other person, and they are actually a team. Like, I forget what the name is called.
I will find it for you.
He's looking up some stuff, but I found that very interesting that they teamed up. So Misty Knight and a Hellcat.
I'm not seeing anything on the name, but it's just a bunch of talk about the Defenders, actually.
Really? So it doesn't actually mention anything.
Nope, we've just got a wiki for Hellcat, which I don't want to read too much. Yeah, Hellcat briefly joined Misty Knight's all-woman superhero team.
There you go.
Stayed only briefly.
So
she did join up with Misty Knight for.
But did you look up the name? Oh, you already exited out.
I already exited out. I'm not gonna go back in.
Well, the source is not coming from me.
No, it's not.
But supposedly they were a team, and so them kind of being in it is a little nod to that, and something that we may see in the future coming to Netflix.
That'll be interesting.
So that's just an interesting thing for those of you that did not actually pinpoint that.
Maybe that's going to be their fight against Gotham City Sirens when that comes out.
Honestly, that kind of sounds. That does sort of sound like that might be what they're doing. The only thing that I find an issue with that, though, is supposedly if the claws are meant for Jessica Jones' friend and not Claire, why the heck did Claire kind of do that? Because Claire is supposed to be having the role of basically what these people are, that they were pretty much just kind of like nurses for the heroes, which that was her role until she decided to, for some reason, get in the fight, which this is kind of a pet peeve that I actually just kind of...
You just don't like Rosario Dawson?
Think of Iron Fist. more specifically, this is where Claire went to a field that made no sense for her story.
Where she started training with Colleen?
She starts training. I get that she's involved, and I get that she sort of senses like that she needs to defend herself. That makes sense. Now, the fact that she ties herself in and says that she's been dealing with the hand and she's been thrown into this, and she feels obligated to go to China with Danny and Colleen. Yeah, wow. Names are failing me today.
Yep, they are.
Anyways, so she feels obligated to go to China. The only thing that she pushed in that story was to help push the romantic angle with Colleen and Danny. There was no reason for her to go to China at all. And not to mention, they got in a fight with the hand that is supposed to be highly trained assassins, and Claire could somehow hold her own alongside Danny.
She's training with Colleen, of course.
She's barely done any training. That is the most dumbest thing. She should have died in that scene. Or they should have had to help her, which that didn't happen. She was holding her own.
I mean, there is the
against
possibility
the hand.
that...
I mean, are you kidding me?
Hey,
she's a nurse.
There is the possibility that they're rewriting that she becomes Hellcat instead.
It is possible. They don't always follow the comics.
Yeah, they don't always follow it.
Still,
down to a mark.
In her story at this point, she should not have held her own against the hand. Can you at least agree?
I can agree with that.
There's no reason for that. So
they are trained assassins.
People want to complain about the fact of, this is backtracking way back to our first video.
Yeah, it is.
People want to complain about Iron Fist being basically the critics rated it poorly because he's white when he's supposed to be white. Complain about that. Claire's story makes no sense, people. Come on.
I didn't think you were going to have to get anything off your chest this episode, but apparently you did.
I honestly forgot until we somehow I just popped in my head and I had to go on the rant.
Every episode.
I gotta get a rant somewhere in there.
Let's go ahead and continue with the trailer, why don't we?
Yeah.
Because then it rolled into them kind of going into battle for the first time.
And it kind of looks like, well... They're actually, it may look like they're training, possibly, because you have the narration of, who the heck is the blind guy? You're good with the names, Matt.
What is his name?
The guy that's in Daredevil.
Yeah.
As like a sensei kind of guy.
I want to say it starts with an S, but I don't remember.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Look it up. Whatever.
Here I come.
Anyways, nobody's going to ever... consider this channel reputable ever again.
No. I will say I'm not good with character names unless I've watched the show and have just started talking about it normally. I have to say them a lot to remember.
Here's the thing, folks. I'm going to come up with an excuse and you're going to have to bear with me.
Oh no.
It's been a long week of work. just bear with me.
I can't make that excuse.
Yeah.
I can't make that excuse because I've slept a lot this week.
Anyways, in that fight scene, getting back on subject, we were getting off a lot. Getting back on subject, they're in that fight scene. They could be either training or something had previously gone down in there. And it actually looks like you can see a pair of glowing fists off in the corner. And it looks like Danny could be possibly training with a former Iron Fist in... Maybe by the end of the Defenders, we actually see him actually get both fists up and running, kind of.
I mean, I can see it.
Seeing how right now all he has is just the one that he's using. He's not using the full potential of
stick.
Yeah, that's the most basic.
I knew it started with an S.
That's the most simple thing, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, literally, I was like, "Is his name Stick?" No, that's too easy. Yeah, okay, we're idiots. But
I feel like I need to retire already.
You don't have money to do that.
I meant from this.
You still don't have money to do that.
Anyways, so that's kind of interesting to see if that will hopefully push his character development. More on the fact of Danny, too, is you see them going down the hallway into their kind of like Avenger-ish kind of crossover fight scene in the hallway where they're all fighting, and you see... Daredevil using Jessica Jones' scarf as a hat.
Like his old school attire he had early on in
back to season
Daredevil
1.
Season.
And so it'll be interesting to see if Danny sees that and he's like, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I want a comedic line when he's talking to Matt and he's like, where did you come up with the idea to put it over your eyes? I'm blind. I can't use them anyways. And then Danny's like, oh. That's a cool idea. Something like that. And like there's a nice beat there. And he just, that would be perfect for Danny. Like some type of comedic reason to why he wants to use it.
One, and if you think about it too, is both Matthew Murdock and Danny Rand, they both actually have like kind of professional lives.
I like that you call him Matthew.
That is his name.
I know, but everybody calls him Matt.
Oh yeah, that is true. No, there was a few. He does get the reference. People do say Matthew.
I know, but it's just funny because it's like with everything I hear somebody say Matthew.
Yeah, now that I think about it, they normally do say Matt Murdock.
It's normally Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Yeah. Butchering names today, folks.
Well, you're not really butchering it. It's just funny.
But, anyways, if you think about it, they both have a professional aspect, so they make sense to cover up their face, whereas Jessica Jones, her powers aren't quite out there. Not everybody knows about who she is. However,
they know she's the detective.
Yeah. I still don't see her ever getting a mask. Whereas Luke Cage, he's already been on camera, on the news. People know who he is.
He's the man with
there's no reason for him to get a mask.
Oh, Lord. Excuse me. The man with the indestructible skin.
Yeah. Until he gets shot with a bullet of alien.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, the last scene, which is just full on there for comedic effect. And one thing you were watching brought up how it was very similar to the Avengers shawarma scene.
Where they're all sitting around the table.
It's very similar to that.
Yeah.
And you've got Danny talking to all of them. And he's like, what was it? We've got a blind ninja.
Yeah. A blind ninja. An invincible.
Yeah, an invincible man.
No, bulletproof.
Yeah, a bulletproof man. And then whatever you are.
Classy.
Yeah, it's whatever you are. Take a beat. And then there's a beat. And then Jessica Jones is just classy. It's so good because you get kind of a feeling for all of them because Matt and Luke are just dead silent.
Yeah.
Matt's just doing his thing looking down, Luke's just sitting there being Luke. Jessica's got one foot propped up on the chair and is somehow sitting comfortably. I can't comprehend that. But, and then Danny's just all serious. Like, we've got a blind ninja, a bulletproof man, and whatever you are.
Classy. Basically, she's super strong.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
Good.
I like the play. I like the comedic.
It's so good. It's going to be fun.
And the interesting thing is to continue with the aspect, actually, that we just said a second ago before the shawarma thing. Well, actually, that is kind of a nice tie. But the Bulletproof Man, where he got shot with a bullet that was actually made out of the aliens, like from the alien stuff when they invaded from Avengers. We will be getting a crossover, folks. The TV side and the movie side will be having a crossover
Kevin Feige
at
said
some
it's happening
point.
Eventually.
Yes.
Eventually means sometime.
Which
it might be not in our lifetime, but eventually.
It's interesting, though, because originally they said that they weren't going to do that. And now they have finally announced that they will be doing it.
Right now I'm worrisome to hold them to it. I would
say it would come
skeptical.
Along the lines of maybe Civil War 2.
Yeah. That's about as far as I can see. Once Captain Marvel's introduced and given a little bit of time, maybe Civil War 2 we see the combination. That's probably the only time we'll see it.
Yeah. I would say Civil War 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
We could maybe see the arc where Punisher shoots. We could finally see that. The crossover.
Finally, Punisher can kill Cap.
Please do Civil War 2. Please, Marvel, if you watch this, for the love of God.
Well, I hope he kills him before Civil War 2. I don't want him to last that long.
Well, honestly, he needs to die now. But
just bring
he should have already died.
Just bring Castle in. I'm just set up the sniper.
What if he just does it randomly?
Wait a minute.
Spider-Man Chaos in Infinity War and Punisher just... What the fuck?
This is one of the only Marvel situations I paid extremely close attention to because of the death of Captain America, like how I pay way too much close attention to the death of Superman.
Oh my God, I have a whole nother theory that's gonna.
Wait. Now that Spider-Man is introduced into the MCU fully, and let's say Sony keeps it going after the sequels and all that.
Oh my god.
We now have the perfect setup. All we are missing is Frank Castle. Frank Castle is getting his own Punisher series here coming up.
And we
Literally?
can see the Iron Suit.
Yes, we could. But bigger thing here is
Cap dies.
now we can literally play out the scene where he's trying to shoot Spidey. Cap saves Spidey, takes the bullet, dies. Bucky takes the mantle. I'm happy because Bucky's Cap. And Chris Evans, you're a great actor, but I'm sorry. I just want Bucky to be Cap.
Yeah, so do that.
Yes, do it. Do it, Marvel.
But on other notes, I actually want to touch on something that they may be doing storyline-wise down the road. They did say, Kevin Feige did say, things are going to be different after the phases, which we made the prediction, or more or less I kind of said that it might be the cosmic level, and you kind of rolled with it.
Yeah,
let me do
I
my
played around with
little rant, rumor, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Whatever.
But I was watching something. Those of you that may not watch the Marvel shorts, there is a short on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Slingshot.
What's that? I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Slingshot is just she's kind of an Inhuman that's kind of a minor character in my opinion. Hopefully nobody hates me for that. But
there's that one person that now doesn't like you anymore. They were your biggest fan and now they hate you.
Yeah. Anyways.
Slingshot's their favorite character.
She's kind of a minor character, and her ability pretty much is she's kind of fast like Flash. Mm-hmm. However, that's not her thing. She kind of basically think of it like this. Yeah, maybe you're in a hallway. She'll be standing at the one end. She can flash to the one and flash back. Okay, so she slingshot she comes back. You know?
Yeah, she's literally a slingshot.
Yeah. So that's her ability. So it's nothing like too crazy. Mm-hmm. And so, anyways, in the shorts, the first episode that I was watching was the first episode that actually came back in December. So this isn't too relevant on news. Mm-hmm. But it carried on for a while. And in the first episode, because this was supposed to take place prior to this latest season that we've been watching for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. Not you, but I'm saying people in general.
Yes, I know. I understand.
It's like a prequel kind of thing. And she actually says, as Phil Coulson is retiring and the new director is kind of taking over, she was like, I hope you don't leave or whatever. And she makes it kind of a gesture towards, she actually says the words New Warriors. She's like, I know you called us the New Warriors. Now, that quote.
There's a sitcom coming to formerly Family, ABC Family.
Yeah. Now, or no, not New. No. It wasn't New Warriors. Let me rephrase that. Yeah. Thank you for actually saying that because that corrects me because it's not New Warriors. It was Secret Warriors is what she said. And that is interesting because in the comics with this whole Secret Empire arc starting,
very good free comic.
The Secret Warriors comic actually goes The Secret Warriors comic actually goes hand in hand with that. Therefore, I'm just going off on a limb here. We may actually get the Hail Hydra aspect from Cap.
Hail Hydra.
And because they've been kind of going hand in hand with the recent comics. Can you stop so I can actually get this out?
I'm bringing the meme back.
Oh my god. So, anyway, so they may actually run that in the future. And we may actually see Red Skull return for that angle.
I'm fine if Chris Evans decides to say Hail Hydra. If Chris Evans wants to do that, he can stay Cap. If he doesn't give me Bucky.
Yeah.
That's the only way I want Chris Evans to stay.
If he doesn't turn...
Good actor, just one Bucky.
And you're going to do a crossover with the TV side, run that for Civil War 2 and kill him, please. If he doesn't die in Infinity War.
Hail Hydra.
Like, those are the best story arcs that you could do,
like
Marvel.
That, though. If he doesn't die in Infinity War, Hail Hydra.
But... yeah, because I kind of like this whole Hydra spinoff that they did in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series where it was like in a virtual world. So imagine that if they actually did that in the real world now.
That would be
because they hinted at that with the whole Madam Hydra thing. And,
Madam Hydra.
So I think that would be interesting. So that's things that we may see in the future.
Okay, so We got anything else to cover? I know there's one big piece of
piece of Deadpool.
Yeah, there's one big
There's
piece of Deadpool.
There's a big piece of Deadpool.
There's a big piece of Deadpool roaming around the internet.
Yeah.
You want to just jump into that?
Roll into it.
Well, Deadpool will be hopping from your movie screen, jumping into an animated format, and hopping right into your TV screen over there on FXX. And it's being brought to you by, what's his name again, because I always get it wrong, Donald Glover, otherwise known by his name as an artist, Childish Gambino. You may also know him as Miles Morales in the animated Spider-Man series.
So he may come on board.
Also going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming. Almost forgot about that.
He is.
Yes. And there are theories abound that he is going to be like an aged version of Miles Morales that has somehow weaved his way into the past of Peter Parker. Like, so many people just want... Exactly. So many people just want him to be Miles Morales. I am one of them. And we're making every theory we can.
Why would you cast him if he wouldn't end up being? So honestly,
I don't know.
That would be the best.
I don't know, but we want him as Miles Morales. Everybody wants him as Miles.
I like that, and the interesting thing is I will spin off of what you said earlier today, where is since he's behind the whole animated series, that
we're probably getting Miles Morales in there with Deadpool.
And which will be even more interesting because then if Miles Morales then comes into the Spider-Man
Homecoming thing, he'll be making
thing,
so many jokes about Homecoming.
That would then mean that
so many
dare
jokes.
I say the Stan Lee aspect of the whole Watcher situation
could be a thing.
Fox and Marvel actually may come together and
were you about to say Daredevil?
Deadpool and Spider-Man may actually get a team-up movie.
Oh god. With probably matching leather jackets or as they've been wearing matching sweaters.
Because they do have a comic together. They do have Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Matching sweaters, man. That's a thing.
So
we're not gonna rock those, but they rock.
There's another thing that I'd be fantasizing
I am so excited for the animated Deadpool series, especially since it's on FXX. It gives them a lot more leadway to be a lot more crude, a lot more rude, and a lot more fourth wall breaking Deadpool that we know and love, and so many chimichangas, I'm sure, are in the future.
So that's some interesting news because that could affect, honestly, the MCU possibly.
Definitely going to help their animated universe, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would.
It'll put them
impact that a lot.
It'll at least give them a chance to be like, "Hey DC, we have an animated universe too." Because their animated universe is kind of over there somewhere that I can't see. While DC's is over here in the spotlight.
Which I think that we were
talking. Cinematic is over there and Marvel's is over.
We were talking about that DC was going to actually have their own spin-off with the whole Teen Titans and everything like that.
Yeah, and I
think we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did.
Assuming that it wasn't in the.
No, it wasn't. It was in the regular.
It was in the previous. Okay, so we don't need to touch on it
then.
The
regular. But
you don't know what we're talking about. Watch our last video.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting situation. So are we done with the Marvel news?
I think that is everything other than we did get the Inhumans teaser. Not much in that other than that is yet another Game of Thrones actor coming into Marvel.
Yep. Ramsay Bolton.
Which I like.
Of course, we know him from I know him mainly from Misfits, which he was amazing in.
And we have the
New Mutants casting.
Yep, New Mutants casting. That's really
Massey Williams gonna be Wolfsbane. I really wish I knew more about Wolfsbane before last night when I did some research on her because the word wolf was there, and I was like, Wolfsbane, that's a cool name, and it's got to do with wolves, so I gotta look it up. She literally turns into a werewolf. I'm excited. I didn't look up magic. I'm going to do that right now just to get an idea.
Well, I find that interesting that she's the casting. I like it. I like it a lot. She, they have wolves in the Game of Thrones too. Like, they had pet wolves. Like,
she's a Stark with a pet dire wolf. She becomes a character that turns into a wolf. Marvel is actually Game of Thrones.
One of these days, we're just going to get a big crossover where Game of Thrones is in there, and then Guardians of the Galaxy is going to cross over with Star Wars, and everything's just going to become one universe.
And then Aquaman's going to fly out of nowhere and join the MCU because he's just going to show up and start speaking Dothraki.
And he's going to show up alongside Namor because they're both from Atlantic.
Atlantic?
Atlantis. My God, today is not my day for names.
It is not your day at all. I'm going to look up magic. Well,
But yeah. So speaking of Aquaman, do we want to
that's
just
an interesting attire.
go into
well,
DC
first,
here?
in case you haven't seen what magic looks like,
Well, nobody else is getting to see what.
I know,
magic
but
looks
you
like
can at least take a look.
That's not fair. We're in the middle of
I just
middle
haven't
of a
seen
thing
magic
here.
before. Okay, that's a weird suit. That's more like probably what we're gonna see. Okay, that makes sense for an X-Men suit. It was, yeah. Okay.
Sorry for his little sign rant. If you don't know,
I didn't know who Magic was. I was
Google
looking
it.
it up.
Google it.
Okay. So let's jump
to DC.
into the DC news, and we do have a lot of Aquaman stuff coming out. That even more villains are being introduced. I had the article up here, and now I don't have it up. Why don't I?
Yeah,
have
you were saying that there was supposedly
but
4
yes,
villains.
Well, that's the wrong article. But I do remember at least most of it.
You're failing
They're,
your job.
Yes, I know. But they're introducing, apparently, the Trench. Now, I had never heard of the Trench before reading this article, but man, am I excited. Because the Trench are pretty much, at least from the picture I've seen, you know what the Sarlacc is? The Sarlacc pit in Star Wars?
Oh.
It's the big-ass pit with teeth.
Yes.
Yeah. Think that, except like a kappa. You know what a kappa is? Like a frog thing, almost.
All right, then.
Kind of look like that, at least from the pictures. They have really sharp teeth. They were purple.
That thing?
That thing right there. Yes, perfect timing for that to pop up on the computer. But yes, the Trench have apparently been added to the movie. And what makes me even happier is one of my favorite directors, James Wan, the man directing Aquaman, has said that they will not be CGI'd. They will be practical effects with people on stilts. Practical evil monsters. I'm excited for that. So that puts our total of villains in this movie up to 4.
Which is really interesting because he's supposed to be by himself in the film. So,
dude,
is he going to be like really freaking OP?
Look at him.
Yeah, but
it's Jason Momoa.
But if you're going to make him that OP, then you have to like kind of live up to that standard in future films.
It's Jason Momoa. I don't think he's going to have a problem. He'll start speaking Dothraki if he has to. But we now know that it will be Black Manta, Ocean Master, played by Patrick Wilson, King Nereus, of course, played by Dolph Lundgren.
Maybe some of them will start out as just like a side thing, and they won't actually be a villain for the film. It just leads into them being a villain in the future.
We'll see. Well, we know Black Manta's the main antagonist. I would assume that King Nereus is kind of going to lead into a future film. And Ocean Master may do the same. I'm unsure about that. And now the Trench. So, we are getting a lot of villains in this movie. Very little CGI, from the sounds of things. Makes me extremely happy. I'm excited for Aquaman.
So if they're not doing...
Never in my life did I think I'd say I'm excited for Aquaman.
Well, we already talked about that, honestly. I feel like Aquaman sounds like it's going to be the better film of DC's universe. It seems like it's going to be great.
James Wan looks like he's going to be doing a phenomenal job like he does with all
But
his
the interesting
movies.
aspect, though, is if they're doing... if they're not doing CGI for them, then are they not doing CGI for the sharks that are supposed to be in it?
That, I don't know. They might not be.
Something to think about.
They might not be. I'm unsure. I know we talked about before when I brought up the actor from the 100th being casted. They're on an island in Australia, I believe, doing their shooting. So they may not be. They may be shooting actual sharks.
Click on that.
What, this?
No, the thing.
This one? Oh yeah. A little bit more news here from Marvel side of things.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, teasing a new suit.
I thought that for a second it was something else.
No,
but
teasing a new suit.
Anyways, so...
Yeah, so you want to go over that no Infinity War Asgard suit for Mr. Robert Downey Jr.?
I mean,
he's getting a new suit made by the Asgardians. It's not... it's kind of cool, but it's not too much different than his normal suit, really. It looks fancier.
Maybe it makes him a little bit more invincible.
He can hold the hammer now, probably.
Huh.
Maybe. I don't know about that.
I doubt it. I doubt
Well,
it.
I'm just
He
going
could
to
hold
bring
the gauntlet, though.
Maybe.
Because he actually did hold the gauntlet in the comics.
But let's just jump into one small little thing of news, which is important. Because it's always important. Because it's the best thing DC's putting out these days. And that's Gotham. Renewed for their 4th season. Of course they are. Because that show is amazing. I haven't really gotten a chance to watch any of this season yet, sadly.
Really? You haven't seen any of it?
I haven't taken the time to watch it.
I'm going to go into a rant about something from the last episode.
I'm so
Do you
bad.
Care?
I don't care. I'm going to watch them
eventually. I'll spoil one thing. I want to know other people's opinions from this last episode.
I will say Nigma is amazing. Still.
I want to know people's opinion about the thing that happened in the last episode.
Go ahead.
So, Selena Kyle, quote unquote, dies.
Oh, she was pushed out the window?
And then a bunch of cats come in over her?
Yeah, okay. You want to know what
necessary?
Well, you want to know what that's from? That's from Batman Returns, the movie. Michelle Pfeiffer gets pushed out a window and dies. The cats circle around her and she comes back to life.
But why?
That's what I don't know. That's just how the character was played in Batman Returns. It's the exact same scene from Batman Returns.
But my take on that is that in my opinion, now some people could hate me, but it just seemed dumb. Outright dumb.
I mean, I love Batman Returns, so I'm perfectly fine.
But
I saw it in the
come back
trailer,
to life because cats surround you?
Well, I know.
Get that she's cat.
I don't
like
know what the reasoning is. It's been years since I've watched Batman Returns.
I'll give it the fact that I haven't seen the next episode yet, so
and I'm far behind.
Hopefully they touch on it. But
I've recorded them. I just gotta watch them now.
It just kind of bugged me.
But yeah, they got renewed, and I've got a feeling that
but Bruce is looking like he's getting ready to be
this
Batman.
next season, I've got a feeling is their last.
He's getting ready to be Batman.
I feel this next season's going to be their final. Because
Which sucks because it's the best thing DC
I feel they're getting to that point where he's got to put on the cowl. He's got to put the cape and cowl
I feel like the characters in this show are so much better than anything that DC has ever freaking done. It sucks that you're going to end it. But
hey, you can continue it. Older Bruce.
Yeah. That's true. We did mention a couple weeks ago. Yeah. DC, make a freaking universe of just Batman.
What was it? The BCU?
Yeah.
Batman Cinematic Universe? Yeah, the BCU.
Hire us on and we'll give you ideas.
Because I'm just going to run Terry McGinnis the whole time. I'm just going to work for Batman Beyond.
I think low-key we need to work for both companies because we suggest a lot of good things that they are doing.
if there's any DC writers or Marvel writers listening and you like our ideas, contact us by our Twitters, get in our DMs.
That's true. We did put our Twitters out.
Yeah,
so
we will have a little chat. Now let's jump into some more news, and this, conveniently, has to do with the next big Warner Brothers movie. Not Wonder Woman. But the Justice League. We know Henry Cavill. You know him. Some people call him Soups. They don't call him that. I do, though. But he's been all over the Instagrams and the social medias taking pictures and all this. And for some reason, I don't know if he's got an affliction that needs a case of Hal Jordan to cure it. Or if he has a bromance with Hal Jordan, if he's a big fan of Ryan Reynolds and was one of the only people that liked that movie. But he's been taking pictures, talking about the Green Lantern. There's been Hal Jordan behind him twice now.
Well,
I mean, it's pretty hard to say we might see Hal now in Justice League.
Now, the thing is, I did not actually think about this until just now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were thinking that it could be maybe post-credit or
I think at the worst it's post-credit.
Or like a little nod to him, and not like an actor or anybody playing him yet.
Well, as far as we know, nobody's been cast for Hal, even in Green Lantern Corps.
Well, that's the thing is, I would like to come out on a limb here.
Oh, you're going out on a limb. You're walking out.
Didn't we already say that Black Adam and Brainiac are supposed to be in the Man of Steel too?
Mm-hmm.
What if Green Lantern comes into that?
That's been a talk.
Kind of like a 2-on-2
show up.
2-on-2 aspect maybe.
Well, thing is, remember, Black Adam's not going to be much of a villain. So that's what
he's like an anti-hero.
Yeah, that's what kind of leads me to the fact that I don't think that if Hal shows up, it's not to help.
You know what I just thought of? What if they run Man of Steel 2 as like Batman versus Superman, where basically it's Supes versus Black Adam, and then they team up to face
take on
Brainiac.
Brainiac.
Oh my God, DC.
I'm hoping they don't. But hey, positive, The Rock's in it, so it'll be okay.
But come on.
Dwayne!
But he's
Just
already
think about Dwayne.
teased that he's going to face off against Superman and everything like that. So basically, yeah, that's my theory.
Think about the
DC
next...
fucked up.
Just don't worry about that.
I don't want to care about that movie.
I mean,
I'm already done.
Other than Brainiac, I didn't care about Man of Steel 2.
Until somebody proves me wrong, that's my fan theory. And
I'm just going to say this now. Except for Brainiac, I didn't care about Man of Steel 2 at all, even with Black Adam. But just think about it, that the next president of these United States in 2020, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is gonna, be in that movie. I'll talk to you about that one point there later and tell you what's been going on there. But we could
just stick to Batman.
We could get
stick
a
to
Green
Gotham.
Lantern
stick to Gotham
situation possibly in the future.
I'm done. Just stop talking about DC. I've given up.
Hey, we got one more thing to talk about.
Injustice.
No.
Oh.
Even though you can't, if you get the Ultimate Edition, you do get you get 3 alternate attires.
Yeah.
One for Supergirl, one for John Stewart. There we go. I remembered his name. John Stewart, the other Green Lantern, and I forget the last person.
Well, guess what? I pre-ordered it.
But yeah, you get 3 alternate attires. So let's get into one final.
Well,
okay, go ahead.
Jump on. We already brought up Injustice because I blurted
just
it
go
out.
ahead and jump
so
on.
We might as well just say that in our original attempt for this live stream, we tried talking about Sub-Zero being announced for Mortal Kombat and possibly Raiden.
Yeah, and not to mention, of course, Starfire, Jason Todd, those 2 along with Sub-Zero are the first DLC pack, and from what it looks like, Raiden is going to be DLC. Some are believing you've got Azrael, who was once a Batman, in there, and there's thought that at least one more female character is being introduced, and right now the headliner for that in the rumor mill is Vixen, which I can see that being the case. So, interesting situation. As well as Black Manta's in there because he's like the most obvious silhouette they give you. Because if you don't know that's Black Manta, you've never seen Black Manta before. That's pretty much how that went.
But it's interesting
Everyone else is a question mark.
It's interesting that they're actually putting 2 Mortal Kombat characters in there this time. If that ends up being true.
I mean,
because
I think it's 100% right.
In the last one, it was just Scorpion and that was it.
Well, I think they were testing the market kind of on that fact, and it is NetherRealm's game.
Yeah.
They have that leeway. I think it allows for them to give kind of that introduction for people who don't normally play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
A little piece of Mortal Kombat in a game.
So they go buy the other games.
Yeah. That's a good marketing standpoint. Now let's jump into the last piece of DC news we have, and that's talking about another live-action DC movie, conveniently named Justice League, but this ain't your granddad's Justice League. This ain't the Justice League that walked up in the 60s.
Your granddad's Justice League.
Yep, your granddad's Justice League.
All right then.
This ain't them. This is Justice League Dark. And they're pretty much, what's the way I told you? They're the Justice League of ghost hunters.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's my wording for it.
Your way of doing it. Supernatural, which is true. They pretty much are the Justice League of anything supernatural. Meaning, I guess you could put Solomon Grundy in there. They may see them take on Solomon Grundy, but of course they're formed.
So, when they run along the lines of what happened in Suicide Squad, then...
Technically, I would think Enchantress falls under Justice League Dark territory.
Yeah.
So, Suicide Squad took a little Justice League Dark territory there. Might be an issue. But, nonetheless, they're constructed, of course, of everyone's favorite, I guess you can call him an asshole, John Constantine.
I'm kind of interested for Justice League Dark after you told me.
I'm very excited for Justice League Dark. I love all the characters. Of course, my favorite being the undead man himself, Deadman, who literally is a ghost. Literally is a ghost. You have Zatara, of course, who's literally just gonna get hit on by Constantine the whole movie, probably.
I'm kind of interested to see her on the big screen too.
That's gonna be a fun one as well. And
I wonder
Swamp
who the casting's
Thing.
gonna be.
That's gonna be the big question about it. And Swamp Thing is another one that I know is often in there.
Because at this point,
the other, I know there's one more member.
At this point, this will be the third actor to play John Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm curious.
I'm hoping it's not gonna be Keanu Reeves again.
I'm curious. I'm gonna backtrack to something that was actually talked about again.
Was Reeves the first one?
Yes.
Okay, making sure I was right there.
All right.
For some reason, his face kind of got distorted in my head, and I was like, was it
No.
Reeves?
It was him. Okay, but
Keanu.
You were saying that it was rumored that Megan Fox was gonna play somebody in the DC. Batgirl? No, it was Ivy. Ivy. Okay.
She was being looked at for Ivy last I saw.
I feel like, thinking about things on a whim here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the actress that you told me that was also wanting to play Ivy
played Claire in Jurassic World.
I think that she should play Ivy.
And Megan Fox should play Zatanna.
Megan Fox should play Zatanna. Just my opinion. Out of just putting those two names into consideration, nobody else.
Okay, putting those two names in consideration.
If you don't consider anybody else for Zatanna,
we'll run with it.
I think that Megan Fox would fit that much better than Ivy. Am I wrong? I mean, out of the comparison of the two roles.
I'll just say this much. Character-wise, I like Ivy over Zatanna. I like Zatanna, but I'm always been a bigger fan of Pamela Isley.
Like we said, Claire from Jurassic World, she would
This is the only argument I think that could be made. If you're going to run the whole pure sexuality of Ivy, Megan Fox does make sense. I don't want to see Megan Fox as Ivy.
But no,
I
think you need to look up the actor from Jurassic World.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because I think that she can pull it off.
Well, I'm just saying if that's the way they want to go and like literally all the character's supposed to be is just kind of, sex cells and everything.
From what I don't know much about
Zatanna,
other than Injustice is when I first kind of got introduced to her, but she doesn't have like the most she has kind of like sexual attire as well. So therefore,
however, she's much. I don't want to call her a prude because she's not a prude, but she's much more of a kind of you hit on me and I kill you type of situation. At least with Constantine, because Constantine pushes things. He pushes. We all know if anybody's a fan of John Constantine, he pushes the bill with every female, pretty much. So he pushes it with Zatanna big time, and even Deadman gets in on the fun. Well, I believe at one point
she could fight back. I mean,
I believe at one point he actually goes into Zatanna's body and jokes around with Constantine. I believe that happens. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe I remember distinctly seeing that happen.
Anyways, I mean...
But I will say, if I had to choose between the two, depending on the way you would go, if you're going to play the role of Ivy being the more calculated villain she normally is, yeah, definitely go, I'd say Claire from Jurassic World as your Ivy. But,
I think that she just looks more of an Ivy to me, too.
We'll see how that casting goes, and then we can start thinking about Zatanna. There's no casting currently. But the big thing...
I'm kind of interested for the film, though, overall.
Big thing, though, is the director. Because this director was working on a Marvel film. One that had Channing Tatum billed for it. One that I was extremely excited for. I'm sure you were extremely excited for. Were you?
I would like to see Gambit on the big screen. However, I feel like the actor that played Gambit in X-Men Origins actually was good.
But it's Channing Tatum.
No, I don't think that he would.
But it's Channing Tatum.
I do like the fact that he actually, the reason why that film has had so much setbacks is because he wants the script done right and he refuses to do the film unless it's done correctly.
Well, look at how Deadpool went.
So I do like that aspect.
Without a good script.
So that aspect alone is really what I think that Channing Tatum should actually hopefully stick to the role of Gambit, because that will hopefully make it a really good film. if he's that committed, because that's what happened with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman for Logan and Deadpool.
Yep.
So
and it worked out
hopefully
great.
So you would think that they would start actually. Fox would get the picture that they need to get their act together, but nonetheless.
Well, but nonetheless, that is off the table. He left that, and now Doug Liman is working on Justice League Dark, and in his words, he stated that it will be very character-driven. Very character-driven, which makes me think we're going to see a lot of backstory, especially for Constantine, I assume, since he is kind of your all eyes on him character. And it's going to bring a lot of old school horror elements to it. So, like, think 60s, 70s horror movies. So, The Exorcist, Carrie, The Omen. I'm a big fan of those movies, all three of them.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm so excited for what he can do with that in Justice League Dark.
I'm actually...
Oh, and possibly an R rating, which that movie needs a fucking R rating.
I think that Justice League Dark actually sounds a lot more appealing than any other movie that DC's announced other than Aquaman.
What about Wonder Woman?
I mean, I think that it will be the best thing that DC's released so far. But I think
Wonder
once Aquaman comes out, I think Aquaman will
I'll say,
surpass it.
with the way Aquaman sounds like it's going, it may be the... I can't believe I'm saying this about Aquaman. I have dissed Aquaman.
Aquaman might be the best DC.
For so long. And Aquaman may be the best DC movie that will ever come out. If it lives up to what it's looking like, Aquaman is going to be the greatest thing ever.
I think he'll be the MVP of DC. He will become the face of DC. Maybe they'll have to rewrite the comics where he's the leader of the Justice League.
That's not going to work. You think Supes is going to deal with that? We're going to have Injustice 3 at
Well, if he's going to face 4 villains in his first film, that's better than anything. No, yeah, honestly, based off of what I can hear from this film, I would rather Aquaman be in charge than Superman actually die and be gone and stop doing anything Superman.
I'm totally down with no Supes.
Because he's
he's literally Jesus.
Yeah, I think enough is enough.
But that's all the news we got on the Marvel side of things. Justice League Dark sounds like it's
DC side. DC side.
Thank you.
Let's
Marvel, DC side, both
Marvel is not releasing a Justice League of their own, calling it Dark. Justice League Dark.
Oh, fun fact about the Justice League Dark movie. Originally, it was supposed to be helmed by Guillermo del Toro. And then he ran out of time to do things. Schedule got full. Couldn't do it. So, Doug Liman taking over. Going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. Aquaman. I can't believe I'm saying this. Please live up to expectations. In December 21st, 2018. Are you going to mark your calendar for that?
December 21st, 2018. For Aquaman?
Literally that
4
close.
4 days before Christmas?
Literally that close to 2019.
I'm just going to say something here because normally the normal release date for Star Wars is usually December something. So DC may be taking a big risk there.
Well, episode 9 doesn't come out.
But they're still doing a Star Wars movie every year. Because they have the rotating years, like Han Solo will be having his own film at some point.
Well, okay, I don't think that's going to be as big of a fight with... Is the young Han Solo flick 2018?
I don't...
Or is that 2019?
It should be 2018, which would mean that the Star Wars Episode 9 should be 2019.
I think Episode 9
or
is
2018. Wait.
2019.
Yeah, 18 and then 19. Yeah, no, we got it right.
Yeah.
Han Solo will be 18.
Yeah,
He's 18 years old. No, I'm just kidding.
He'll be done in 2018, and then Episode 9 should be 2019. So
in theory, that's what they should be doing because they're doing one every year.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what takes place, and if we did see Wonder Woman got moved back because it was coming out literally the same day as Logan. So they moved that back.
So yeah, we might see some changes with the release date based off of that information.
So
if that ends up being
as
the case.
time goes on, there may be a move back of the release date. Who knows? There may be reshoots for all we know that moves back the release date.
Yeah.
We may not get to see that movie till 2019. I mean, we're never going to see the Batman according to all accounts right now. That movie's never going to come out.
Seems to be having multiple issues.
So it'll be interesting, and hopefully I have all the faith in the world in James Wan because he's amazing.
But backtracking to Injustice real quick. The pre-order for that coming
Dark
out.
Side.
Coming out. Well, actually, it's probably already out by this is up. Wait, no, we're live stream.
I was about to say.
People, I'm having a long day.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long day.
The pre-order though, you get that jersey from GameStop with Batman on it. Batman. But you want to look forward to the story for Injustice. It will be coming to you from us.
Yep.
On my channel. The link down below, as said earlier.
Let's go ahead and flash these back up so
again,
you guys can remember. Wait, let me get my.
Check out the Twitter. Any news for Comic Cat? Yeah.
The casual comic cast. Come on. There we go.
Lord help me. So any news for that will be going down in this right here. He may post some things too. Basically, point is, follow both of us. We will be posting things for all of our channels, and it is key and important to follow.
If you wanna know any new stuff, well, you know what?
Hurry up.
One more time for the road. Everyone say goodbye to Groot.
Well, it is a sad thing.
Yes, we're leaving, and Groot's probably not gonna be here next week.
It's a one-time thing for Groot.
Bye, Groot. Bye. And remember, guys. Almost forgot about my sign-off.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything to call yourself a nerd. Bye, Groot.